Hi, this is Sarah Rice, a communications specialist at Skynamo, and I'm sitting with Julian Diaz, our head of marketing. In this next half hour, we're going to discuss some of the rather unexpected findings from the trust gap research we conducted with sales reps in the UK last year. Julian, why don't we start by talking a bit about why Skynamo felt it was important to do this research in the first place?
Thanks, Sarah. Well, what we found from research that was conducted in the industry was that 53% of sales reps surveyed were reaching quota. Only 53% of sales reps were reaching quota, meaning that not only were almost half of sales reps not reaching quota, but none of them were actually shooting the lights out. And this is a big problem, because if what you're being paid to do is to sell and to reach quota and shoot the lights out, very few reps seem to be doing that. So we wanted to find out what was keeping those reps from selling, whether it was time or whether it was something less tangible. So we went out in October of last year. We went out to market. We surveyed 251 field sales professionals in the UK specifically to find out what was keeping them from selling. Our objectives with the report and the questions that we asked were to find out how much time is spent selling and building relationships, and what is keeping sales reps from selling and building trust. We feel that time spent in front of customers and trust were two critical factors in helping salespeople sell. So we wanted to find out what was keeping them from building trust and what was keeping them from spending time in front of customers.
Okay.
So before I go into some of the results, just a quick introduction to us, Skynamo. We offer a cloud-based field sales management software and a mobile sales app for manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors with teams of reps out in the field who are visiting customers on a regular basis to sell to them or to service them. That's, in a nutshell, what we do. Our mobile-first app for sales reps helps reps eliminate or greatly reduce admin, helps them keep track of visits that they've done out in the field, which customers they've seen, which customers they need to see. It helps them access product information, customer information, pricing information from the field, which results in just greater efficiencies on the road, enables them to visit more customers and provide better service levels to their customers, and also decrease the turnaround time on orders by enabling them to submit orders from the field for approval. From a sales management perspective, we offer a cloud-based software that enables sales managers to gain visibility, real-time visibility into what's happening out in the field at any given point in time. Our GPS technology enables the managers to see where the reps are, who they've seen, where they've been, how much time they've spent with customers, what orders have been submitted, what conversations have been had with customers, what notes were taken. It gives them unprecedented visibility to what's happening out in the field. We have over 560 customers and over 6,000 sales reps using our product. Here are just some of them. We also partner with Sage and Acumatica and Xero. We integrate with a number of ERP systems and accounting packages to enable the reps to access information that's stored in those systems from the field. Information such as product information, pricing information, customer information, invoicing history, and so on. And also, as I mentioned before, it enables them to submit orders directly from the field into those systems for approval. So what we'll be covering is looking at our survey results. We'll find out what salespeople do all day, the obstacles that keep them from selling, the features that minimize or eliminate those obstacles, how trustworthy salespeople actually are, and how we help increase trust, how we change the sales conversation. So now the million-dollar question, what are those salespeople up to? Why aren't they selling? Where are they? What are they doing? How do they spend their week? Well, let's first benchmark. Let's look at what Salesforce said. Salesforce conducted a similar survey where they went out to market and they did an online survey and received responses from 280 sales professionals worldwide to find out how they were spending their time. According to the results, as you see, 36% of the respondents' time was spent selling, while the other 64% was spent not selling, which is crazy.
It's, you can see, looking at time spent, why people aren't making quota. If less than half your time is spent doing the job that you're being paid to do, it's going to be quite hard to do that job well.
Exactly. I mean, you're spending 64% of your time not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and you're spending almost the same amount of time selling as you are on admin. It's insane. That
is insane. So now that we have our benchmark, let's look at what the respondents in the UK specifically said in our survey. How much of their time is spent selling versus non-selling? We were pretty close to the global study. In the UK, our respondents reported that 35.4% of their time is actually spent selling, just over a third. So 26.8% of their time that's spent selling is spent prospecting or visiting customers. 8.6% of that time is spent on cold calls. The other 65% that's not spent on selling is spent on tasks such as learning, researching, driving, and admin. Now, we don't want to cut back on the amount of time that people spend learning and researching because we find those things very important in the sales process. You need to learn more, train yourself up, become more skilled, and of course research your prospects and customers before speaking to them. What we want to do is reduce the amount of time that's spent on unnecessary driving and on time-wasting admin. And ask any salesperson, they hate admin.
Most people hate admin.
Yeah. So we want to reduce that time spent on admin so that salespeople can increase face time and spend more time selling.
But that brings up the question. So do we believe that the best way for salespeople to hit quota is to increase face time with customers?
Absolutely, we do. But we also found research to back that up. A couple of years ago, Harvard Business Review conducted a survey to determine the importance of face time with customers. When they asked their respondents whether face time was important, 95% said it was a key factor in successfully building and maintaining long-term relationships. 93% said it was helpful when negotiating with people from different language and cultural backgrounds. 89% said it was essential for sealing the deal. 81% said it offers value beyond the meeting, and 79% said it's the most effective way to meet new clients to sell business. So that's a resounding yes.
Yeah, the short answer is yes.
Short answer is yes. Face time is critical in the sales process. Now, if we look at our own anecdotal evidence, we see that. We see that not only do we increase the amount of time that our customers are able to spend in front of their customers, but we're also able to improve, as a result, their conversion rates. Here's a testimonial from one of our users, Darren McClear. He's a Salesforce Development Manager at B2C Premium Drinks. It's a local food and beverage company. They were able to triple the number of customer visits by simply using Skynamo to improve their routing. And that's just one aspect where we were able to help. And it had a huge impact on the number of visits they were able to conduct. Then Triangle Lubricants, they are an oil and lubricants company. They saw an actual impact to the bottom line. They were able to increase their sales revenue by 17% the previous year, and then this last year they were expecting an increase of about 15%, just because they were able to increase the number of visits each month.
That's incredible. So they saw a tangible movement on the bottom line by seeing existing customers more regularly.
That's just existing customers.
Not even trying to track down new ones.
That's right.
That's incredible.
Not prospecting, but just visiting their existing customer base more frequently. So how do we, as Skynamo, increase time with customers? If we think it's so important, what features do we offer that are able to reduce admin and driving time? And I'm not going to go into a big product pitch. It's just very high level overview of some of our main features, not all of them, of course. So from a sales rep perspective, they have our mobile app running on their mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone. And at any given point in time, they're able to see where their customers are based on where they are, and they're able to thus plan their routes better, be more efficient in their driving, and we're also able to show which customers are overdue for a visit based on call frequencies.
So this is interesting because now what you're doing is with Skynamo you're able to optimize your routes. So it's not just that you're spending less time in the car, it's that your time in the car is being spent in the most productive way. That's right.
So now speaking of call frequency, that's something that we are able to set. So as a manager, you're able to determine how many times a customer needs to be seen over a given point in time. So you can determine, for example, this particular customer or this particular set of customers needs to be seen twice a month. And you can set that call frequency, and then you can draw reports to show which reps aren't meeting their call cycle requirements and which customers are overdue for a visit. So that just ensures that your customers are seen with the frequency that you feel they need to be seen to sell. And one of our favorite features, and one of the features that we get the most positive feedback about, is the automatically generated call reports. Using our GPS technology, the same one that gives the sales managers a live view of where their reps are or where they've been, sales managers are able to see at any given point in time a timeline of where reps have been, where they've been, what customers they've seen, how long they've spent with those customers, which orders have been submitted, and view or read any notes that have been taken during those visits. And if you ask any sales rep, generating call reports is a time waster. It kills so much of their time. We've spoken to reps who've said that it takes about an hour to 2 hours a day of their time.
No, I mean, that must be just soul destroying.
So if we're able to eliminate, let's say, for example, an hour a day in admin by just providing this feature alone, that's an extra day a week that they can be spending on selling.
Yeah, and getting in front of customers, which we've already proved is the best way to increase your numbers.
That's right. Finally, our integration with ERP systems and accounting packages means that sales reps are able to spend more time on the road and less time in the office because they're able to access all the information that they need, such as latest pricing, stock levels, discounts, promotions, and even submit quotes from the field thanks to the integration we provide between our system, Skynamo, and your ERP or accounting package.
So this basically, what we've really looked at here is all the practical ways that Skynamo can help increase the amount of time that sales reps have to sell. And I think for the next part, are we going to start looking at some of the more emotional and less tangible things that Skynamo can assist with?
Yeah, so let's talk about trust, because trust is so important in the sales process. You're not going to buy from someone you don't trust.
No.
So are sales reps trustworthy? That's the $1 million question. Because if you don't trust them, you're not going to buy from them. They're not going to sell. So let's start off with the benchmark. HubSpot, a US-based marketing automation company, conducted their own research on how trustworthy certain professions were. And as you can see from the results here, salespeople are way at the bottom of the scale in terms of perception that people have of trustworthiness. And that's not great.
No, this is not great for
That's
us.
terrible.
Yeah.
So now if we look at our own results, we asked salespeople themselves how trustworthy salespeople are. They, of course, hold their profession in higher regard than the greater population.
Okay. They feel they're trustworthy.
Yeah. So 54% agreed that customers don't trust salespeople. So that's a lot better than the 3% that was reported by HubSpot. But that was a survey of the general population. This is now asking salespeople themselves. So that's how they see their profession in general. However, when we ask them how trustworthy they are, they have a much higher regard for themselves than they do of their colleagues in the industry. 84% felt that customers' trust in them was excellent or good.
So other salespeople are seen as untrustworthy, but they obviously are different.
Yeah.
And their customers have a very special relationship with them.
Absolutely.
So this is classic human bias.
Yeah. They are unique. Well, is it true? Let's find out. These same people who state that they themselves, 84% of them were trustworthy and that the trust that customers have in them was well deserved. Their answers to another set of questions surprised us, actually.
Okay.
77% of the respondents have admitted to guessing the answer to a customer's question, but stating it as fact. And that's okay. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily untrustworthy behavior.
I think it's borderline, but if anyone's got children, we do this all the time.
Okay.
Just state stuff.
Okay.
If it's a truth.
Yeah. 71% have told their manager that they were working when they were actually running a personal errand. Okay.
Also, not the worst thing in the world.
No, I'd call that a white lie. I'll say, because I think who hasn't done this in the past?
Right.
And it really is dependent on the relationship that you have with your manager. The fact is, you do have to do personal things during the day. You do have to run personal errands. We don't always tell our managers that we're doing this. It's just a normal thing. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just more normal human behavior. 68% have admitted to closing a deal without being certain that their company can fulfill the order.
Okay, I feel like we're starting to edge into untrustworthy.
Yeah, we're edging in. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I mean, they're confident maybe that their company can do it without being maybe super sure, but they want to close the deal. And they don't feel like they're lying necessarily.
Well, they don't
They're
know
stretching
they're
the
lying.
truth. Maybe they're stretching the truth. Okay, now here they're actually outright lying. They're actually admitting, I've tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I've said they've exaggerated. I've said they've stretched the truth a bit, but now I can't really protect them any longer. They're actually lying. 67% have admitted to lying to close a deal.
Not great.
Not great. And here's a whopper. 59% have admitted that they will do whatever it takes to close a deal. Now, what that is that they're willing to do to close a deal, we just didn't want to ask because we were afraid of the answers.
I don't think I want to know.
No.
So this is this suggests that actually the reason there's a perception that salespeople are untrustworthy is because they are in fact untrustworthy.
It appears to be so, but the question now is why? Why are they exhibiting this behavior? Why are they exhibiting untrustworthy behavior? Is it because, and there are only two answers possible, A, salespeople are bad people. They're just really bad people. Is it A? Or is it B? Salespeople are backed into a corner with little time, not enough information, and high pressure to hit target.
I personally have got to go with B. Some of my best friends are salespeople.
No, you've got best friends who are salespeople?
Oh, a lot. But I have to go with B because I think this is human nature. When you've got something to do, and it's a choice between integrity or putting food on the table, I know which choice I'm going to make.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Sarah. We feel it's B. Based on the results that we got from the survey, we feel that there are three key areas where there's friction that we're able to alleviate. 44% of respondents agreed that sales reps and sales managers don't trust each other. We feel that there's relationship friction that's keeping them from being trustworthy. 89% recognize that accuracy of their data entry is flawed. There's a point of friction in the data. And then 38% believe that technology is more of a hindrance than a help in performing the job. So there's technology friction that's keeping them from doing their jobs. So how do we alleviate some of that friction? From a trust friction perspective, our GPS technology creates a transparency between the sales manager and the sales rep that fosters an environment of collaboration between the two. Because the sales manager no longer has to wonder where their rep is and operate in an environment of uncertainty. He knows where they are. He knows what they're doing. He no longer has to ask and follow up. He can instead engage with them in a completely different way now that he has the answers to those questions. And thanks to the access to accurate information that sales reps now have in the field, they're able to relay more accurate information to the customer. So they no longer have to exaggerate, guess, or lie. They have access to accurate information. And then finally, because they're spending less time on admin, they're also able to spend more time selling and just spending more time in front of customers, building a relationship and building that trust that's so critical in the sales process. From a data perspective, our integration with other systems means that sales reps have access to one source of accurate data from the field. So having access to better data or better quality data means they have now more trust in that data, and they can relay that information to their customers. They operate with more confidence because they trust the data. And finally, that from a technology friction perspective, because they're using an easy-to-use mobile app, they'll actually use it, and they'll use it a lot. Because with any technology, if it's not easy to use, you're not going to use it. Our mobile app is designed with field sales reps' requirements and behavior usage in mind, and for use on a mobile device. Our integration into other systems means easy access to data that's stored in an ERP system or in another CRM system. That means that they don't have to swap between one interface, an ERP interface or a CRM interface. They access data from both systems or from one system via one interface, our interface. And then finally, using our system, they're actually using technology that's making their jobs easier and helping them ultimately sell more. So what we're trying to achieve as a company is we're trying to create the transparency and trust between sales reps and their managers, between sales reps and customers.
Yeah, this makes sense, because if we can start creating a more trust-based relationship inside the sales organization, the sales reps will feel like their managers have their back. They'll feel supported, and then that'll help them more confidently build trust relationships with their customers. So we've got to start within the company and then take that trust out into the relationships with customers rather than the other way around.
Yeah. So what you ultimately achieve as a sales manager or as a business owner is you get this sense, this visibility into what's happening in the field at any given point in time. Gives you the sense of riding alongside your sales reps throughout the day. So you can collaborate with them while they're on the road. You can add to their notes. You can send them messages because you see what's happening, and you can actually support them throughout their day. So managers can now move from being micromanagers and starting off every conversation with where have you been, what have you done, who have you seen, why aren't you selling more, to a more collaborative conversation where they're saying those questions are already answered and they can be more constructive in their feedback instead. What we ultimately see happening with sales reps is a transformation. Because they have more time now and they have access to more accurate information, they move from being simple order takers to consultants, because they are now empowered with more information and more time to spend with customers and advise them on their purchases. Okay, so that's basically what we're trying to achieve as a business, is that transparency that leads to a transformation of a sales manager from a micromanager to a sales coach, and of their reps from being merely order takers to consultants. So let's hear from a customer who nicely sums up the transformation that happens in an organization. Here he speaks about the manager's transformation and the sales rep's transformation.
For us, it's transformed the sales rep into a true sales professional, more of a consultant than just an order taker. So we always prefer to coach up than rather coach out, and through the information that's being transformed back into the organization, we are seeing much more opportunities to coach people up and get them to a level that perhaps they weren't before.
Right, so that is the end of our webinar. Some of the statistics you have heard us discuss are included in the report, as well as a whole bunch of others. And it's a really beautiful report. It's been done incredibly well, and we'd love to share it with you. You can get the report by visiting our homepage, Skynamo.com, and downloading it from there. And we would also be very interested if you have any feedback for us on the report or the kinds of questions you would like to see in future reports that we're going to do. And thank you very much for listening to us.